I have the great good fortune of teaching with talented teachers. And we don't have enough time because we're teaching to go to one another's classes. So I've asked them to join me here in the studio. In this video, Wendy is going to give you a full body practice. I especially love what she does with the upper body, especially the neck and the shoulders, and I'm sure you'll appreciate it as well. Thanks for joining. Here's Wendy.
Welcome to class, everyone. Just take a moment and make yourselves comfortable in your favorite seated position today, whatever that might be to you. Let your shoulders relax a little bit. Ground your sitting bones deep into your mat. And the most important thing is that we're sitting nice and straight and tall with those shoulders right over our hips. And for more challenge, engage your core. So we're going to start off with a little bit of deep breathing before we jump into our practice, just making sure that all of us are relaxed. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll take our first deep, powerful inhalation through our nose and fill our lungs up with air as best as we can. Hold your breath if you're able to for a moment, and then release your breath out through your mouth, getting rid of all of that stress and tension. And then go ahead and do a few more at your own pace, breathing deeply in, filling up, holding, exhale, releasing that stress and tension on a deep and powerful exhalation through our mouth. And then one last time for 3. Inhale, fill up and hold, exhale, and release. Good. After we take those 3 deep breaths together, let our breath now return to normal. Breathe in through your nose deeply. Breathe out through your nose deeply too. As we transition over to our Ujjayi breathing. So while we're taking a moment and we're sitting with our breath, let our mind clear of all of our thoughts, each of our worries, and every single distraction, so that we're able to take this time to focus on ourselves, focusing on our physical body from the top to the bottom and everywhere in between, focusing on our inner body and paying attention to being aware of and noticing each and every time that we inhale and exhale. And then we'll use those 3 things to help us to stay focused on being present in the moment. So let's go ahead and start. Adding in that breath and movement now together. So we're gonna bring our hands down towards the floor. We're gonna inhale and we're gonna bring our hands up to touch. We're gonna exhale and slide our hands to the heart center 3. And then again, when you're ready, inhale, bring our hands up to touch. Exhale as we slide our hands to our heart center 2. And then one last time, inhale, bring our hands up to touch. Exhale as we bring our hands to our heart center and into Namaste Mudra, to help us to balance out the left and the right side of our body. Left side, moon side, right side is the sun side. So throughout class today, we'll continue to deep breathe in and out through our nose, creating an intention and inspiration or affirmation to devote to our class. And then I'm going to chant Om. And if you care to join in with me, you can. Or sit and listen, or just chant Om silently to yourself. Taking a deep, powerful inhalation and exhaling into Om. Om. Good, and then from here is where we'll begin adding in that breath and movement together. So I want to work from the top of the head to the bottom of our feet and do all over. So I want to start at the very top and do some eye movements. So we're going to take our eyes, stretch, pull, and lift our gaze as high up to the ceiling as we can without moving any of our other body parts. And then drop your gaze and look straight down towards the floor. Do it again when you're ready. Inhale, lift your gaze higher this time. Exhale, drop your gaze and look straight down to the floor. And then one more time, I'll just do 3 of these eye movements. Stretch, pull, lift as high as you can, like you're trying to roll those eyes into the back of your head. Drop down, straight to the floor. keeping everything else nice and still if you can. Focus back to the neutral position, then we're gonna go side to side. Pull as far to the right side as you can, and then look over to your left side. Both eyes go to the corners. Pull to the right, pull to the left, and then one last time for 3. Pull as far as you can so that you're feeling this movement in the eye muscles that are surrounding and supporting our eyes. Good, focus back to the neutral. Then we've got one more eye movement we're gonna do. So we're gonna do complete circles with both of our eyes. Lift up and then go down. So your circle, go slowly, make it as large as you possibly can. So once again, you're able to feel this in your eye muscles, helping to lubricate, and then reversing the direction 3 times as well. 3 clockwise, 3 counterclockwise. Let your eyes close lightly. Bring your hands together. Rub them until you generate some warmth in the palms of your hands. Once those hands warm up, eyes are closed, and we push the heel of our hands into our closed eyelids, sending that warm healing energy there. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, and then from there, we're gonna go into our next area. From our eyes, right into our neck movements, and we're gonna repeat exactly what we did with our eyes with our neck movements. Inhale, lift your chin, look forward or gaze up. Exhale, lower your chin back down to your chest. 3. Now pay attention to how your neck is feeling as you're doing this very, very simple yet very effective movement. Exhale, return to the center. Inhale, lift up. So halfway is fine, or lifting so that you're gazing to the ceiling if that is comfortable to you and to your neck. Exhale, lower. So we do 3 lifts, 3 lowers. We go back to neutral. Then we do 3 side to side movements. Inhale, gaze over your shoulder to the right. Exhale, look over your shoulder to the left. Keep lifting up through that crown. Shoulders over our hips, core engaged. Inhale, side 1. Exhale, over to side 2. One more time for 3. Inhale, look to side 1. Exhale, look over to side 2. Helping us to keep up that nice range of motion in our neck. Back to our center. Lower your chin to your chest. Now here, you're gonna have 2 choices. Easiest first, sweep across. Chin to shoulder side 1, chin to shoulder side 2, with our face shining down towards our lap. That might be where you wanna stay, or you might wanna try to see how it feels to do a full circle rotation. So you're just taking your chin, drawing a very slow imaginary circle with that chin. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release down. Now, if this movement doesn't feel good to your neck, please go right back to your first semicircle movement instead. So this again is helping us to lubricate our neck, create space in our neck, and keep up our range of motion. Reverse after. Clockwise, 3. Counterclockwise, 3. Just moving our neck out today, how it feels good to you. Very delicate area, so we never want to do those movements fast. And then come back to our neutral position. We've got one more neck stretch to do. This one's going to be a side stretch. Let our fingers point down to the floor. Engage your core for more. Inhale. Exhale, ear to shoulder, side 1. Let your ear go there on its own, or you can take your fingers and help it out a little bit by resting them at the top of the head with the fingertips or with the palm. Then we're gonna add in another movement. We're gonna take that opposite arm and we're gonna do a little rotator cuff rolling with that. Palm up, turn your palm down to the floor, and then turn it back up to the ceiling again in the reverse direction. And then we're just gonna roll that palm 3 times. Palm to the sky, palm to the earth, back up in reverse direction, and then one last time. Palm up, palm down, back up in the reverse. Good, then lower our arm down to the floor. Remove our hand from our head. Inhale as we're straight. Exhale, release our ear over to side two, with or without that extra weight. You get to decide what you prefer. Lift your other hand to the ceiling, palm up, turn the palm down, back up, reverse direction, 3. Rotator cuff movement, so make sure that it feels good to do so. Focus on your deep and powerful breathing. Make sure that everything that we're doing feels good and is right to us. Good, lower our palm, remove our hand from our head and come back up straight. Good, so next we do shoulder work. Inhale, lift your shoulders up by your ears. Exhale, drop your elbows down to the floor. We'll just do 3 of these too. Inhale, lift up high. Exhale, drop those elbows to the floor. One more time. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, release them down. Good, and then we're gonna go into more rotations. Inhale, lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale, lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Good, one more time. Inhale, lift your shoulders up, back, and down. And then go in the reverse. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Good, then point our fingers to the side of the room at shoulder height. We're just gonna do some simple circling here. Little teeny tiny circles with those fingers are perfectly fine. Knowing that we're tightening and toning underneath our upper underarm area. And then to reverse it, we just turn our palms up and we reverse the direction. Focus on breathing. And you'll notice pretty quickly that the arms begin to feel quite heavy, very normal. And then we're just gonna take our hands to the top of our shoulders. And we're gonna do a little elbow circling here. So go ahead and circle for 3, forward, 2, forward, and then 1, and then reverse that for 3, 2, and 1. Good, then we're gonna point our elbows down towards our mat. Inhale and lift them up to point to the wall. Exhale, point them back down to the floor, 3. Inhale, lift them back up, maybe higher if you can comfortably, 2. Lower down, 2. Inhale, lift up, 1. Exhale, lower down, 1. Then we're gonna take those elbows to the wall and then point them forward. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, open, and then go forward, 3. Apart, squeeze those shoulder blades together, forward, 2. And then one more time, open them wide, bring them forward. Good. And then let's take a little break from that upper body movement and we'll go right into warming up our whole body with our rotations. Leaning our body over our leg, moving our upper body over to our second leg, leading with our chest and with our rib cage. Lean back, bring your chin to your chest, push yourself back to the beginning of your circle to continue with your rotations. Deep, powerful Ujjayi breathing here, helping us to awaken our body, energize our spine, and activate our chakra system. A few of the many, many benefits that we receive when we do this very powerful warm-up pose. Grounding our body into our mat as we lift that dormant energy up from our base at our tailbone to the top of our head towards our crown chakra. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and just reverse the direction. Moving our body out today, how it feels good to you, knowing that you're providing it with some much needed lubrication. Begin to feel your hips, your knees, and your ankles relax and release down to our mat. Good, come back to our neutral position. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, and then I'm gonna go right into a nice side stretch. So set your hand down next to your hip and then slide your hand as far away from your lower body as you can. Flatten that palm, spread your fingers nice and wide. Gaze over the opposite shoulder. Inhale, slowly lift our arm up and then reach our arm over. So option one, you're gonna keep that weight on your palm. Two, you're gonna release yourself down to the forearm if you like that better. So just make sure if you release down that your lower body stays locked to the mat. Both hips, both knees, both glutes are down. Just your gaze, maybe look at your hand, maybe look forward, or you can always look at your arm that's up over your head. Nice straight line here from your shoulder to your hip and from your shoulder to your fingertips. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Now, if you're on your forearm, come back up to your palm, and then we're gonna add in a nice movement here, resting our hand at the top of our shoulder. We're gonna try and peel that elbow up higher towards the ceiling. Then we're gonna take that same elbow and we're gonna point it forward. Good. Lift back up when you're ready. Bring our elbow either to the ceiling or a bit behind us. Bring the elbow forward. Good, and then one more time, we'll just do 3 of those. Pull back and point forward. Good, and then we're gonna switch it out. Do the same exact series again. One more time on side 2. Sliding that hand as far away from our lower body as we can. Inhale, slowly lift up our arm, reach our arm over our head. Keeping your weight, pushing on your palm to the mat one, or releasing a little deeper into that side stretch on our forearm. Creating that space. Deep, powerful Ujjayi breathing. Good, and then bringing our hand to the top of our shoulder, and then we'll point our elbow either up to the ceiling, maybe pull it back behind you a little deeper into that movement if you wish. Point your elbow forward. Exhale. Inhale. And then we'll lift back up. Let's go into some stretching next. So we're gonna take our legs, go straight. Point those toes right up to the ceiling. And if you wish, part your cheeks a bit so that you're grounding a little deeper into your yoga mat. Inhale as we sweep our arms up. Exhale as we fold over the top of those straight legs, right into our paschimottanasana stretch. So some people will be setting their hands at the top of their legs, some people near their knees, or you can go further down the legs to your ankles, your heels, your feet, touch your toes. Inhale, look forward, pull in your core, use your arm strength to try and pull that body towards those legs. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, then I'm gonna add in a nice slow flow to this forward fold today. And I'm just gonna do 3 reps of this flow. So we're gonna inhale, we're gonna point our fingers straight up to the ceiling. Then we're gonna exhale. So either flat feet here 1, straight legs 2. We're gonna exhale as we guide ourselves down with control right onto our yoga mat. Then we're gonna bend those knees right into our chest. Inhale, lift our legs up straight, push out through the heels of our feet, and then we're lowering our legs with control down towards the floor. Each movement with a breath. As soon as we get down there, we're gonna inhale, we're gonna bring ourselves up. Point our fingers to the ceiling. We're gonna exhale, we're gonna fold back over in our paschimottanasana stretch. We're gonna inhale and point up. We're gonna lower ourselves down with control on our exhalation. Bring those knees into our chest. Inhale, lift our legs to the ceiling. Exhale, with control, lowering them back down to the floor. Soon as our legs hit the ground, we're back up to finish our last flow. Inhale up, exhale as we fold. Inhale, point up, exhale, lower. Knees to our chest, legs go up straight, lower down with control to the floor. Back up onto that seat. Inhale, lift our arms, and then exhale as we return back to our straight leg seated forward fold position. Deep breath in, lengthen on our inhale. Exhale as we go a bit deeper into that stretch. Good. And then let's go ahead and go into our hip opening asana. We'll do our Baddha Konasana bound angle pose, letting the palms of our feet touch. Grab onto your feet with your hands or your fingers. Let those shoulders relax. Engage your core and do a little movement here, but make sure that the movement feels good and is right for you. We tend to carry a lot of emotional baggage in these hips, so let's try to release that. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, and then let your knees release down to the floor as best as you can. Inhale, and then as we exhale, we're just going to lower our chin down to our chest so that we're doing a Jalandhara Bandha root lock. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, inhale, lift your chin back up, and then we're gonna hinge from our hips and fold right over the top of those feet. A slight movement for some, a little bit deeper for others. Just do what you can comfortably. Pause here to breathe deeply in and out. Good. Inhale, bring ourselves right back up to our straight spine. And then we're gonna lift up our knees, come on to our flat feet here, and we're gonna go into a Navasana. So grab onto opposite wrists or opposite elbows. Push back onto our tailbone, lift up our feet here. So variation one, little easier here. Two, little bit deeper, arms straight, knees bent. Three, go right into your full boat pose, Navasana. So molding our body to form a V as best as we can. Eyes are focused, core engaged, and we're breathing here deeply. Good. Calm back, nice and slow, out of the pose, and then we can transition over. Coming into our neutral tabletop position. So inhale, we're gonna arch our back slightly. Exhale, we're gonna round our spine slightly. I want you to just ease into the movement. Going deeper into your cat-cow stretching each time you do another wrap. Moving with our breath. And just taking the spine in opposing directions as much as we possibly can comfortably do so. Good, come back to a neutral flat back here, and then we're gonna do a little cat twist. So go ahead and take your leg back. Let's start with our first leg. Bring it straight back and let the toes touch. Push those toes very deeply into the mat to give them a nice stretch. Come back up onto the tip of the toes, and then you're gonna slide, glide, hop, move your leg in the opposite direction as far as you can. Plant those toes firmly. Inhale, look forward, and then exhale, look over your shoulder towards that planted foot. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then come back onto your first knee. Same thing, side two. Second leg goes back straight. Push the toes deep into the mat, giving them a stretch. Come back up onto the tip of the toes. Slide, glide, hop, move. Your second leg is far in the opposite direction as you can. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, gaze over your opposite shoulder towards that planted foot. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good, then come back onto your knee, and we're gonna go into a nice rotation movement here. Drawing an imaginary circle on the yoga mat with our lower body. So start with a smaller size circle, gradually increase the size. Now, two choices here. Be on your palms, on your hands, if that's comfortable, or you can release your weight instead down onto the forearms for anyone who might have discomfort in their arms, their hands, their wrists, or their fingers. So this should feel really good to the body to do this movement. Deep, powerful Ujjayi breathing as you rotate, knowing that you're lubricating some more parts of your body. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and reverse the direction. And then push yourself right back to your child's pose. Either with the knees touching, drop your third eye to the floor, or part your knees nice and wide, if that's more comfortable to you, and then bring your forehead to the mat. We always want to make sure that we're applying pressure to the third eye so that we can all experience that natural flow of relaxation that occurs in our body when we do so. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, and then bring ourselves right back up to our neutral tabletop position. And then we'll do some extensions here. Go back again with that leg, touching our toes to the mat to start. Extend our opposite arm to reach forward. So 1, you're gonna keep those toes down. 2, you're gonna lift. 3, maybe add in some crunches if you want more challenge. Lengthen and crunch if you're doing that variation, or just hold. If you're holding the pose, make sure that you're squaring your hips and your shoulders down to your mat. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, and then we're gonna switch it out. Same thing, side to opposite leg straight back. Opposite arm is reaching forward. Toe touch, lift and hold, or add in those crunches if you did so on side one. Good, come back to our neutral tabletop position. I want you to remember your resting position, your child's pose, and return to it at any time. Point your toes down, lift up off of your knees, and come right into your downward facing dog. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Make sure that your palms are flat. And then we begin to walk our feet back and forth several times, right and left. So mountain climbers, whatever you want to call this movement. Stretching, breathing. If at any time you get tired, please return back to your child's pose to rest, or you can kick it up a notch by doing some alternate movements, maybe doing one leg version, 3-leg dog, many different names for the same pose. Make sure that if you're doing that variation, that you've done both sides, right and left, evenly. You can also take some weight into your upper body by simply pushing forward into your push-up position to strengthen our upper body. And then when you need to take a break, just pushing yourself right back into your downward facing dog. Paying attention to how you're feeling here. Good, and then whenever you're ready, you can step, jump, or walk your feet to your hands so that we can go into a nice hangout pose position here. Bending your legs at your knees, straightening your legs, if you can do so comfortably. Letting your hands be down towards the floor. And then I want you to just very, very gently shake your head yes a few times. Release the tension in our neck. Shake your head no a few times. Good, and then grab our hands onto either opposite wrists, opposite elbows, or touch your opposite shoulders, and then move your body, upper body only, with those feet firmly planted. Go side to side a few times. While we're deep breathing, feet stay stuck where they're at. And then bring your hands back down to the floor. We're going to heel toe our feet open so that our feet are as wide apart as our mat is. Rest your first hand under your face so that your nose and your middle finger line up. Set your other hand on top, and then we're going to peel our arm straight up to the ceiling, adding in our upper body twist here. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, and then switch. Opposite hand under our face. Nose, middle finger line up. Inhale. Peel our opposite arm to point straight up to the ceiling. Breathe in, breathe out. Exhale, bring that hand back down, and then come down into our malasana position. Bring our hands together in front of our heart and namaste. Now, when some people do this, they're actually up on the tip of their toes when they do garland malasana pose. Other people have their feet flat. So find where it's most comfortable for you to be in the position. Good. Then we're going to bring ourselves down onto our bottom again. Plant our feet like we did earlier during our flow. Lift our arms up, lower our chin to our chest, and simply release ourselves slowly, gently, carefully down onto our spine. And let's give those knees, this time, instead of flowing, we're going to give our knees a great big hug. Doing our detox pose. Grab your hands onto either opposite wrists or touch your opposite elbows. Targeting our transverse colon. And always be sure after practice that you drink plenty of water so that we can flush any toxins out of our body that we've released into it. Good, and then go right into your happy baby pose. grabbing onto the bottom of your feet, pulling your knees closer towards the floor with your arm strength, and at the same time push out through the bottom of your feet using your leg strength. So there's two movements going on at once. Continuing to massage our back while we're in this position. And then let's let our feet plant on the floor so they're parallel to each other and hip width distance apart. Cross your right leg over the top of your left leg. Bring both of our arms to the side at shoulder height. Inhale, lift your foot, bring your knees to your chest, and then exhale and let your legs go off to the right while our eyes look to the left. So a cross leg variation here of our revolved abdomen pose. Spinal self-adjustment pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And slowly, gently, carefully come back over onto our spine and switch. Uncross the right from the left, cross the left over the right. Lift your right foot, inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, drop our legs off to the left while our eyes gaze to the right. Shoulders, elbows, palms, flat and down. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And slowly, gently, carefully come back over onto our spine. Uncross our legs. Lift our legs straight up to the ceiling again like we did with our flow. Point your 10 toes to the ceiling and then push out through the bottom of your feet a few times. Doing a little bit of foot flexion. And then from here, we're going to push out through those heels and we're going to slowly, gently, carefully, with control, lower those legs down to the floor so that we can do a nice transition into our relaxation, meditation, Savasana. So part our feet, let our right foot fall to the right and let our left foot fall to the left. Relaxing our feet, relaxing our toes. And then relaxing our ankles and our calves. Let our lower legs relax. Then allow our upper legs to relax. Allow our abdominal muscles and our glutes to melt into our mats and into the floor and then into the earth. Breathe in, breathe out. Soften our internal organs. Allow our heart center to open. Take and release any emotional baggage that we might be holding on to there. Take the weight of the world off of the top of our shoulders. Relax our upper arms and our elbows, and then relax our lower arms and our wrists. Relax our hands and our fingers. Turn your palms to face up to receive the light and the healing energy from the universe as we guide and direct that energy to our body and allowing ourselves to be open to receive. Eyes are closed lightly, and then be sure to check to see that your mouth, your teeth, and your jaw are also relaxed. Parting our teeth slightly so our tongue can rest and fall to the bottom of our palate. Then take a moment and scan your body from the top of the head to the bottom of your feet and everywhere in between. Just taking this time and allowing yourself to relax, to release, and to simply let go. After we meditate, we bring ourselves back to awareness slowly. We wiggle our fingers, we wiggle our toes, we rotate our wrists a bit, we rotate our ankles too. We rub our hands and we rub our feet together again, like we did after our eye exercise. Our knees, another hug. Allow ourselves to rest over. Pausing here to breathe in and breathe out. Ready, come back to your seated position so that we can just take a moment to end our practice exactly as we began. Pointing our fingers back down to the floor. Inhale, just one sweep up this time, letting our palms touch, and then exhale, sliding our hands back to the heart center into Namaste Mudra so that we can end with our own chant. This time I'll be chanting to help to send and spread peace throughout the world. Taking a deep, powerful inhalation and exhaling into Om. And ending as we all say Namaste to each other. Namaste, blessings on your day, and thank you for practicing with me today.